Michael works hard. He wakes up early, goes to work, handles pressure, pays bills, and tries his best to survive each month. From the outside, Michael does not look lazy. He is not careless. He is not someone who refuses to work. In fact, if you asked him why he is still struggling, he would probably say, "Life is expensive." And he would not be completely wrong. Rent is expensive. Food is expensive. Transport is expensive. Bills are expensive. Everything seems to cost more. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, people do not stay poor only because they do not earn enough. Sometimes, they stay poor because of hidden habits that quietly destroy their money. Small habits, normal habits, habits that do not look dangerous at first, but over time, those habits turn salary into stress, income into pressure, and hard work into survival time. And the worst part is this: most people do not even notice these habits because everyone around them is doing the same thing. So in this video, we are going to break down 10 things that may be keeping you poor, not to shame you, not to insult you, but to help you see the trap clearly. Because once you can see what is draining your money, you can finally start changing the direction of your life. The first thing keeping many people poor is simple: they spend before they think. This was Michael's first problem. Every time his salary arrived, he felt relief. For a few hours, life felt good again. He could buy food, he could pay bills, he could settle people he owed, he could finally breathe. But because he had been under pressure for weeks, he also wanted to reward himself immediately. So he bought little things: a meal outside, a new shirt, a small gadget, an online order, a weekend outing. None of these things looked serious on their own, but when he added them together, they became dangerous. By the second week of the month, Michael started wondering, where did my money go? This is one of the most common money mistakes. People think big expenses are the only problem, but sometimes it is the small, uncontrolled expenses that quietly finish everything. It is not always one large mistake. Sometimes it is 50 small decisions. The lesson is simple: before money leaves your hand, give it a job. If you do not tell your money where to go, your emotions will decide for you. And emotions are expensive. The second thing keeping people poor is lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation means that every time your income increases, your spending also increases. Michael started with a small salary. At that time, he had simple needs. But when his salary increased, something happened. He did not become freer. He simply upgraded his pressure. A better apartment, more expensive food, better clothes, more subscriptions, more outings, more bills, more things to maintain. So even though Michael earned more money, he did not feel richer. Why? Because his lifestyle swallowed the increased lives. This is where many people get trapped. They believe that earning more will solve everything. But if your spending grows every time your income grows, more money will not save you. It will only give you a bigger lifestyle to feed. Compare Michael with Oliver. Oliver also earned more over time, but instead of upgrading everything immediately, he kept his lifestyle controlled conditions. When his income increased, he allowed some enjoyment, but he also increased his savings and investments. Michael used extra income to look successful. Oliver used extra income to build freedom. That is the difference. More income is powerful only when your behavior improves with it. The third thing keeping people poor is buying things to impress people who are not paying your bills. Michael did not always buy things because he needed them. Sometimes he bought them because he wanted to be respected. He wanted people to see that he was doing well. He wanted to look successful. He wanted to avoid feeling behind. So he bought clothes he could not comfortably afford. He upgraded his phone before he needed to. He joined outings that stretched his budget. He spent money just to fit into a lifestyle. And for a moment, it worked. People complimented him. People noticed him. People thought he was doing well. But after the compliments disappeared, the financial pressure remained. This is a painful trap, because attention is short, but debt can last long. Praise is temporary, but bills return every month. The investment lesson here is simple. Money used to impress people usually leaves you weaker. Money used to build assets can make you stronger. One makes people clap today, the other gives you options tomorrow. And if you must choose between looking successful and becoming free, choose freedom. The fourth thing keeping people poor is not tracking money. Michael often said, "I do not know where my money goes," but that sentence was the problem rouse. If you do not know where your money goes, you cannot control it. Money does not disappear by magic. It follows patterns: food, transport, data, subscriptions, family support, debt, small purchases, impulse spending, convenience spending. But because Michael never wrote anything down, everything felt like a mystery. At the end of the month, he only knew one thing: the money was gone. Oliver did something different. Oliver checked his spending, not because he was perfect, not because he was stingy, but because he wanted awareness. He wanted to know what was helping him and what was hurting him. And when he started tracking, he noticed things he had ignored. He was spending too much on convenience, too much on subscriptions, too much on unplanned purchases, too much on things that did not matter. After 1 week, tracking money is not punishment. Tracking money is light. It shows you the leaks, and once you see the leaks, you can start closing them. The fifth thing keeping people poor is living without an emergency fund. This is one of the most dangerous traps. Michael did not have emergency savings, so every unexpected problem became a financial crisis. A phone repair, a medical bill, a transport issue, a family emergency, a job delay, a sudden rent problem. Because he had no backup, he had to borrow, and once he borrowed, the next salary became weaker. Then another emergency came, then another loan, then another repayment, and slowly, Michael was no longer working only for himself. He was working for past emergencies. This is why an emergency fund matters. It may not look exciting, it may not look like an investment, but it protects your future investments. Because if you invest without emergency savings, one problem can force you to sell your investment at the wrong time. An emergency fund is not there to make you rich. It is there to stop one bad month from destroying your progress. Oliver understood this. Before chasing big investment dreams, he built a small safety net. That safety net gave him peace, and peace is one of the first forms of wealth. The sixth thing keeping people poor is using debt to support lifestyle. Debt is not always bad. Debt can be useful if it helps you build something valuable: a business, an education, a productive asset, a property that makes sense. But debt becomes dangerous when it is used to buy things that only make you look good. Michael started small. He borrowed to cover a shortfall. Then he bought something on payment. Then he used credit when cash was low. Then he took another small loan to settle the first one. Each decision looked manageable, but together they became a chain. The problem with lifestyle debt is that it allows you to live above your real income. For a while, it feels like progress. But it is not progress. It is future pressure wearing nice clothes. Oliver saw debt differently. He asked, "Will this debt help me build, or will it only help me consume?" That question changed everything for News. If debt helps you buy something that can grow, earn, or improve your future, it may be useful. But if debt only helps you impress people, it can keep you poor for years. Because borrowed lifestyle is expensive. And sooner or later, the bill comes. The seventh thing keeping people poor is ignoring skill growth. Michael complained about his salary for years, but he did not improve the skills that could increase his earning power. He wanted more money, but he did not become more valuable in the market. That is a hard truth sometimes. The problem is not only spending the million. Sometimes, the problem is that your income has stopped growing because your skills have stopped growing. Oliver understood that money does not only grow through saving, money can also grow through becoming more useful. So Oliver invested in skills he learned: communication, he learned digital tools, he learned sales, he learned how to solve problems better, he learned how to negotiate, he learned how to offer more value, and slowly, his income opportunities expanded. This is an investment lesson many beginners miss. Your first investment is not always stocks. It is not always real estate. Sometimes, your first investment is yourself, because a better skill can increase your income for years. And when higher income meets better money habits, wealth becomes easier to build. But if income grows and behavior stays poor, the money will still disappear. The eighth thing keeping people poor is thinking saving alone is enough. Saving is important. Saving is powerful. Saving gives you control. But saving alone may not build serious wealth if your money never grows. Michael sometimes saved money, but whenever he saved, he left everything idle and then used it later for spending. There was no plan, no growth, no long-term structure. Oliver saved too, but he understood the next step. After building emergency savings, he started learning how to invest. He did not rush, he did not gamble, he did not chase hype. He learned slowly. He understood that money should not only sit, some money should work. That is where investing comes in. Investing is not about getting rich overnight. It is about allowing your money to grow over time. Think of it like planting seeds. Saving is keeping the seeds safe. Investing is planting some of the seeds so they can grow. If you only save and never invest, your money may be safe, but it may not multiply. If you invest without saving, you may be forced to pull out when life gets hard. So the smart path is balance. Save for safety. Invest for growth. The ninth thing keeping people poor is following the crowd. Michael often made money decisions because other people were doing the same thing. If people were buying a new phone, he wanted one. If people were entering an investment trend, he wanted in. If people were going out, he joined. If people were showing off, he felt pressure to show something too. This is dangerous because the crowd does not know your financial situation. The crowd will not pay your rent. The crowd will not settle your debt. The crowd will not rescue you when things go wrong. Following the crowd can make you feel safe emotionally, but it can be expensive financially. Oliver learned to pause. He asked, "Does this make sense for me?" That question protected him so thus. Because not every opportunity is your opportunity. Not every lifestyle is your lifestyle. Not every investment is your investment. Not every trend deserves your money. The person who follows the crowd may feel included today, but the person who thinks independently may become free tomorrow. Poor money decisions often start with pressure. Strong money decisions often start with patience. The 10th thing keeping people poor is having no plan. Michael worked hard, but he had no clear direction. He wanted to be rich. He wanted to be comfortable. He wanted less stress, but he had no real plan, no savings target, no debt plan, no investment plan, no income growth plan, no spending boundaries. So every month became random, and random money behavior creates random results. Oliver was not perfect, but he had direction. He knew he wanted an emergency fund. He knew he wanted to invest monthly. He knew he wanted to reduce debt. He knew he wanted to increase his income. He knew he wanted financial freedom, not just financial appearance. A plan does not mean life will be easy, but it gives your money a path. Without a plan, your money follows your mood. With a plan, your money follows your purpose. That is a big difference. A person with a small income and a plan can sometimes go farther than a person with a big income and no discipline. Because money without direction disappears, but money with direction builds. Now look at Michael and Oliver side by side. Michael spends before thinking. Oliver gives every dollar a job. Michael upgrades his lifestyle quickly. Oliver keeps a gap between income and expenses. Michael buys things to impress people. Oliver buys things that support his future. Michael does not track money. Oliver watches his spending. Michael has no emergency fund. Oliver builds protection. Michael ignores skill growth. Oliver invests in himself. Michael only saves when money is left. Oliver saves first and invests for growth. Michael follows the crowd. Oliver follows a plan. Michael works hard but stays trapped. Oliver works hard and slowly becomes free. The difference is not that Oliver is lucky. The difference is that Oliver's habits are building him, while Michael's habits are draining him. That is why two people can earn similar money but live completely different financial lives. One is feeding pressure. The other is building freedom. So here is the truth. Many things keeping people poor do not look dangerous at first. They look normal. Spending without thinking looks normal. Upgrading your lifestyle looks normal. Buying things to impress people looks normal. Borrowing for comfort looks normal. Ignoring investments looks normal. Following the crowd looks normal. But normal does not always mean wise. Sometimes, normal is the trap. And if you are watching this and you see yourself in Michael's story, do not feel ashamed. Awareness is the beginning of change. You do not need to fix everything overnight. Start with one habit. Track your spending. Save a small amount. Avoid one unnecessary purchase. Pay down one debt. Learn one valuable skill. Invest in your understanding. Build one better routine. Because poverty is not always broken by one big miracle. Sometimes, it is broken by small, wise decisions, repeated again and again. Your future is not only shaped by how much you earn, it is shaped by what you do with what enters your hands. So ask yourself today, which habit is quietly keeping me poor? And more importantly, what will I change before another year passes? Because money grows best in the hands of people who respect it. This is Mr. Mind Money. Subscribe to this channel, and remember, if your habits change, your future can change too.